Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Courtney, for those of you who don't know. Today I just wanted to talk about why your items may not be selling on eBay. I question this myself every now and then because I could go like a 10-day streak of having sales and then all of a sudden they stop. So I just want to give you some things that you could look at to see why they're not selling. One of the things is how many items you have listed. So I know when I started, I was about 150 items. Like, I stayed consistent at 150 and things were moving but not very fast as I pleased. Then I noticed when I hit 250 I was getting more sales. I'm currently sitting at 600 and my official goal would love to be sitting around 1,000. A great thing that you guys can do is set a goal for yourselves. So let's say you're sitting at 300 listings and you want to get to 400. Do like 20 items a week. And it doesn't have to be on the same day. If you're like me, I don't like to list that much in one day. So I like to have 2 separate days where I decide I'll list 10 items on Tuesday and list 10 items on Friday. I feel like that's always helpful, it gives you a little break. I know that the more items you have, there's like an algorithm that you get more traction. And also, I guess this brings me to my next one, being consistent. You have to be consistent on your listing because you get like this top rated seller if you sell consistently for 90 days. So that way you get more traction from others. And to be consistent, try to make sure you're at least thrifting once a week. I know sometimes it's hard, especially for me. I prefer getting my items out of storage units because it's buying 40 bucks, or you're buying 100 items for 40 bucks instead of wasting 40 bucks at Goodwill for like 2 items, depending on where you live. It's kind of expensive here. There's not a Goodwill bins around me, but I've heard great things about it, so I would, if you're close to one, I would highly suggest that to get good deals from there. Antique stores are really cool. I like going to them every now and then because people love vintage things. I think the issue for me being consistent is you don't always win a storage unit, so that's when I go around and go to Goodwill and thrift some things. And then typically the next week I get a storage unit and get a bulk of items. The next thing I want to talk about is taking bad pictures. I know I have taken some really bad pictures due to inconsistent lighting. I have changed our apartment around so many times. We have a really small apartment, so it's been a struggle to get a consistent lighting because we don't have a separate room. So when I look back at my old pictures, I'm just like, oh, that was not good. I've noticed that my pictures are getting better, and so I have my own little setup that I finally feel like I'm comfortable for now. It's the most I can do right now. And a lot of items, I don't want to say a lot, but a lot of my knick-knack items have been selling better than my clothing. So I would just suggest like having a dedicated area just for photo taking and making sure you could even use like a ring light or something. Make sure that not too much natural light's coming in. I know people love natural light, but sometimes that can affect shadows behind you and stuff. So just try to make sure that your area is all nice and clean at all times. Next is having listings at the wrong time. I ran into this a couple times where I posted prom dresses probably a month before prom, not really thinking to get ahead of time, and there was a couple of watchers, none of them sold. Posting pictures on the right time is super important, especially you have your audience change, you have your market change. It changes all the time. I would suggest just making sure that you know when certain items will sell. My favorite thing that doesn't really stop selling is Christmas stuff. That stuff sells all year round, so if you can find items like that constantly, that's awesome. Because I know, like, last year when I started, I got a Christmas unit and I just listed all that stuff, and stuff was even still selling in July. Even clothing wise, like when it gets colder, start listing coats at the end of summer. Tennis shoes are typically bigger during the summer and boots are typically bigger during the fall. So just like list a couple months before the season begins. The next thing I want to talk about is if you're charging too much. I am really bad about this. I don't want to say I'm really bad about it, but like if I find one sold comp of something, I expect my item to be sold at that price. And then if I get an offer of $10 below that, I get upset because I'm like, this person sold it for $10 more. So sometimes you just gotta give. You're making profit, but not as much as you please. You can still accept an offer, especially if it hasn't gotten any attraction for a while. Go with what your customers want. Everybody can send an offer, which brings me to my next reason is if you're not using your best offer, do it. If you want your items to sell as fast as possible, your best offer, like let's say it's like $5 off, just accept it. That's typically what I do. $5 off, they're just typically trying to get off of the shipping if you don't do free shipping. I know there are sometimes people will really lowball you on your item, then just make a counter offer, and if they pitch back the same or $1 up, just decline the offer. But I think it's very good to have the best offer on there. I know that's how I make a lot of my sales, whether it's $5 to $8 off. I can typically deal. Another thing that you can do, there is a section on eBay that if you don't want that item to sell less than a certain amount, you can select that, put in the amount that you don't want it to be sold lower than. Then if a person does send an offer lower than, then it automatically declines and you don't have to deal with that person at all, which is pretty convenient too. Okay guys, I really hope you guys found these tips helpful. Just if you feel like your items are selling fast, then just go through those and see what you can change up in your inventory, and set some goals. Try to make a list on how many items you can list during the week, and I think you guys will do great. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.